Hey Aaron, I am so sorry for getting this video to you so late. In the future, if you do need to take some space between an order and sending your questions, please, for the love of God, just send it to my Facebook. I sent like a screen cap and then I actually posted it on Facebook. I've got over 41,000 emails and growing, and I can't sift through them all. And so they do kind of pile up, because the way YouTube and my scheduler app work, you're kind of held you're held hostage, so to speak. Kind of you have to get all their ads and all their shit. So it's like if a person makes an order and then it's a while between then and then, like it just gets lost. And then of course I go on to the next thing and the next thing and the next thing, and then this happens. So I apologize for the delay there. So I've got your chart all loaded up here, June 1st, 82 in Vegas, and I put 7:45 a.m. because that's always what I do when we have that half-hour gap there. And so let's just kind of go through, and I'm just going to go through this, as I always do, just linear fashion, okay? So it looks like here, we're looking at the November 13th email. So, told me not to gamble when Mercury turns retrograde Friday the 16th, 17th. Yeah. Problems every 4 unbelievably easy college football games that I've got to hit. This will be my last chance. Okay. When are those dates? The problem, okay, so ask the cards. I have Boise State to win by 21. Fresno, I don't know any of these things. One sec here. When did Boise play? Okay, so I don't know if this is what's going on still. I think we might actually be missing that one. So I apologize. Next time, give me the dates of the games, okay? I'm so sorry. Let's move on to the next one. I can't go and do the research on the NFL and college football all the time. You know when I'm doing readings, I'm sorry. Let's move on to the next one, okay. The usual, including December, okay, because you forgot good gambling days for trips, both gambling and trips. Okay, let's do that. Let's do that. Let's go there now. Because I already got the chart all set to that anyway. So let's see what's going on. Okay. December is overwhelmingly good for you in particular, especially as we get to the 7th and beyond. Now, it does look like with December, in general, the energy around December favors a little bit more local than it does travel, for the most part. So if you're thinking of, getting on the road, going to Vegas, things like that, it's really not a good time, as far as that is concerned. We've actually got a very interesting sort of, not necessarily issue, but I would say opportunity coming with Jupiter forming an opposition to your Sun and your Mercury. This is between houses 2 and 3, 6 and 12. And so this is actually something we don't want to be out of town for. And this does look to be about around after Christmas, that week between Christmas and New Year's. Jupiter oppositions are not ever really bad. You hear the word opposite in astrology, you think, oh shit. Well, that's not something you need to worry about so much. With Jupiter, though, creating this connection, this could be a change on the job front that you have to kind of be there to volunteer for. You have to kind of be there to give your affirmative to. And I don't want you to miss out on that. So I would say, stay local, stay in Idaho, don't run off on a plane in December. It's not really a good mix. I do think that the best days going for you are ultimately going to be, again, after the 7th. In fact, any time between the 9th and the 12th are actually very, very good for any kind of work in terms of like the gambling side of things, a little bit luckier around then and there. There is one day I kind of want you to avoid. and that, well, set of days. And that would be around this full moon in Cancer on the, at 0 degrees Cancer. So I would just make sure that we take some time off between about the 21st and about Christmas Eve. Honestly, you could probably ditch the whole Christmas, that early half of the Christmas week, 21st to the 24th. That full moon in Cancer is problematic for more than one reason. But probably the most important one, as it is for you, is that it will be square to your Mars. And with a full moon square to our Mars, we tend to see kind of a bit of an issue or controversy of some kind coming up. Even if there were a wind, that could create some spoilage, or maybe some kind of issue around whatever you get has to be spent right away. And it would be an expense related to either the trip or an expense that comes as a consequence of the play. So I don't like seeing that going on, where that goes there. Let's look and see at lucky numbers and lucky colors. 9, following Jupiter, 9 is going to be one of the luckiest numbers, if not the lucky number from now all the way until we get into about December 2019. That's a gimme. Jupiter tends to give luck to the house number it is in for the world chart. So 9 is ultimately going to be a damn good one. So I can encourage, show us please. Show me what's going to happen with Aaron Banks. I want to see Aaron and his. I'm just going to see Aaron and his. Aaron and his lucky numbers. Just show me the images of Aaron Banks. So we'll do numbers first, and colors second. Show me numbers, lucky numbers, and lucky colors. But first, lucky numbers for Aaron. Okay, and you know how we do it. We do reductions. Okay, so in addition to 9, what else have we got? Four is uniformly strong across the board. I've actually got 2 4s here, so that could just be putting extra emphasis on 4s. Also could be giving a clue, however, to shapes. One of the things I've noticed with the way things have been going for me now, messages coming through for me now, shapes will also come through. So 4, squares, rectangles, diamonds, that might be a clue when it comes to, again, games and things like that. But 4s themselves are ultimately going to be the best. I am seeing that 2s will also be good. Now remember, reduction, right? So 2 could also mean 11, could also mean 20, all right? So 2, 11, 20. 4s, we've got 4, right? And we've also got 13, 22, 31, and 40. Okay, so that would also be another reduction of 4. Now, there are 2 reversed cards here which can indicate numbers that are lucky if paired. All right, if paired alongside one of the lucky numbers, which would be 6 and or 3. Okay, so when we say paired, I don't mean like 43 is not 4 and 3. 43 is not 4 and 3 at all. But if it went in a sequence of 4 and then 3, or 6 and then 4, if you get my drift, that's where this would be a good lucky sequence. Okay, so that would be what I see as far as numbers are concerned. So again, just to recap, 4, 13, 22, 31, 40. 2, 11, 20. Okay, so let's, and then, we usually with reverse cards, we don't do reductions on that, so I don't want to say a reduction of 3. Let's just say 3 and 6 as well, if paired with one of the better ones, or in sequence with one of the better ones. So let's have a look and see what's going on with colors, eh? Okay, just the energies of the colors of Aaron. What are Aaron Banks? Lucky colors. Lucky colors. Mr. Aaron Banks. Show me please what is going to happen with Aaron Banks as far as his lucky colors? What are Aaron's lucky colors? Tell me, please. What is going to happen? What are Aaron's lucky colors in gambling over the next few months? What's going to happen there? Okay. Green. Green's definitely standing out. Green and blue, especially. Green and blue. Again, I'm getting kind of an emphasis on combinations. Blue and black, green and black, those are also very, very good. But definitely, even on their own, green and blue. Metallics, golds, silvers, bronze. I would not do black all by itself. Black needs to be paired with something. Black and metallic, like black and silver, black and bronze, black and gold. Black and blue, black and green. Reds. Reds and orange, but not yellow. Don't get them confused. Reds themselves will need to be also paired, however. Paired with the orange or paired with the black, not by themselves. Black, orange, and red seem to all need to have some kind of combination in order to work. But again, green and blue by themselves are solid. Green and blue combined are solid. Okay. Greens and metallics, things like that. That's actually going to be a very big one. It's a very understated color scheme as far as what could be going on here. But it's not necessarily bad. It's just sort of a different kind of color scheme, I think. So as far as lucky numbers to sports, I would not go with the numbers towards sports in this respect. Because the numbers are going to be focusing on what's in play or as a tool to be used. Whether you're picking numbers, picking machines, picking spots, it does not really apply to players or scores. Okay, so that's something to keep in mind here. Sometimes they will not, because luck is that's not the same as luck. You know what their point system or their point scheme is going to turn out to be. Plus, you've got also the problem that I've encountered, especially when it comes to sports in America, is that if you do try to use numbers to predict scores, it's going to end really badly because it's going to be counting what is scored. Okay, one touchdown could translate to 1 to the cards, but we all know it's worth more. And the same thing can go with, say, basketball and whatnot. So it's not necessarily an easy system. They didn't have this back in the day, right? So they didn't think about this kind of thing. Lucky slot themes. Let's find out. Aaron. When it comes to Aaron Banks, what are the slot themes that he needs to be aiming towards and working towards? What is the slot theme, the thematic structure of the slots that Aaron Banks needs to be going to look for? When it comes to Aaron, should his slot themes. Aaron Banks and his slot themes. What is going to happen with Aaron Banks? Show me slot machine themes. The best, just only the good stuff. The good luck having slots. What are the slot themes that Aaron Banks will have? I see the energy for Aaron Banks. Very odd. One of the big themes that I see here, there's kind of like a criminal type of aspect, whether it's black and white shirt, robbers, people robbing banks, mafia. I don't know if they would have a Goodfellas themed one, but something along those lines. Or crime, organized crime. anything where there tends to be a little bit of that feel going on. I would say there could be a gangster kind of feel to it, but it's definitely more like buttoned up gangster, not like street gangster. That's a big one that's coming through the Eight of Swords reversed. Crime and criminality, but again, it's more modern. It's not like pirates or anything like that. We've got a big focus on animals with the Strength card. Not just a focus on animals, but a lot of the times with the Strength card, it's kind of a dual message. So we are getting an animal theme. In particular, though, we're seeing a little bit more of a focus on animals that are I would say like just apex predator animals and apex predator animals only. Okay, so we're not looking at like a gecko theme, you know, or a toucan kind of thing. But if there's an eagle, if there's a lion, like we literally have here on the card, anything where it doesn't have to have a unique flavor though to it. It doesn't have to be ocean theme. It doesn't have to be, you know, a jungle theme or something like that. Though you might want to look and see, okay, this is an ocean theme one, but more importantly, is it a shark themed one? Right? This is a out in the wild wilderness one. Okay, is it a bear themed one? That could be good. If it's just like random out in the forest, not gonna cut it. Is there a lion in the savannah? Is there, you know, that's definitely a little bit more where this kind of comes in. The other meaning behind the, you know, this is sex. So that could be easy. You know, how many games are there out there with a bunch of hookers in bikinis? But again, this is a bit more on the wild side. So we see like Tarzan girls or Tarzan theme even kind of come out of this one. I'm also seeing kind of a Renaissance man kind of theme. But when I say Renaissance man, I mean kind of, usually with the King of Pentacles, we see a solitary rich man. We don't see somebody who's like part of this rich Victorian family. Though I am seeing that time period, very Victorian themed, pre-industrial revolution kind of energy from him. And it's kind of like, I mean, honestly, what I would prefer to call this is just old money. It's not mad money. It's not crazy. You know, it's the guy with the monocle, you know, Mr. Moneybags, that kind of vibe coming off of that. And then I've also got the Four of Pentacles, which actually can give off, and I would say that this is probably the easiest of them to translate. The Four of Pentacles, honestly, I would say that anything where there is a theme of literally chests themselves, chests and locks, keys and locks, you know, anything along those lines. You know, treasure chests could be a big thing in the next one, whether it's treasure chest, buried treasure. Again, watch out, not quite the pirate theme though. Suitcase full of treasure, locked treasure, that kind of thing. This is definitely, you know, what's behind, you know, if it's behind locked doors or whatever. That's actually very, very strong because containment is ultimately the focus of the Four of Pentacles. So that might be another one to consider. Though I would say the strongest themes would actually be the containment theme, Mr. Moneybags here, and the sex and animals one. Not at the same time. Sounds terrible. Then followed again probably by the crime. But again, modern crime, landlocked crime, not pirate crime, because I know we've had pirates before. So let's have a look and see here what's going on with number 3. So you say, this is going to be the strangest question you've ever asked me. I doubt it. I've had a lot of, I'm sorry. I think anyone ever asked, and I'm like, no, girl, you don't know what the craziest thing I've heard. Okay, but I bet you've been asked weirder. Yes, I have. Not making this up when I make my sports pick on the phone app. Sometimes I feel these strange and itching all over my hands and on the side of my feet and other places. Usually this happens when I'm trying to pick football upsets. When I'm stubborn and I submit my ticket anyway, it was all wrong and I lose. One time my thumb was twitching like crazy. Once I submitted my ticket and the twitching stopped, the next day there were 10 big upsets, and I only got 4 of the 10. I said out loud, something's trying to tell me something. What does all this mean, or am I crazy? How do I know I've got the winning ticket before submitting it? Sometimes while playing slots, if I close my eyes and focus on, I know which thing to pick in the bonus. Basically what I'm asking is, how do I get a better connection to my sixth sense? Okay, don't need cards for this. One of the big things that you need to pay attention to when you're doing that is, first, let's look at your chart and see how do your things come forward, okay? Because we all have different ways, our gifts and whatnot, you know, like different powers and whatnot, right? You know, Darian has psychometry and he can read things with his hands, whereas Ray can predict the future, right? So, and that's actually a really apt connection to what you've got in your chart so far, because your Neptune is in your 6th in your natal chart. It's one of our bigger psychic influencers. Neptune in the 6th house can actually be a sign for people who are gifted with physical touch, psychometry, energy healing, hands-on healing, anything to do with the psychic planet in the 6th house. I would say that ultimately what's going on is that, you know, if you want to make sure that you're doing the right thing, I think that you have to allow yourself to get a better read on, you know, maybe actually find a way. Because you can't do all of that on the phone. I think that what you need to do is do something a bit different. I think that maybe what you want to consider is maybe getting some index cards, go to the Walgreens or the Bartell Drugs and get some of those little note card, 3x5 cards. Write the names of, I guess you could say, what you're trying to read on the cards, right? And then set the cards out on the table and really study them. Get concentrated, get grounded, get focused. Don't get too excited. Okay, get the girlfriend out of the room, just chill out for a minute. And you will be able to select if you go with your first instinct. Okay, your first thought. That's how intuition and psychic sixth sense works. It goes on your first impression. Everything that piles on top of it is a judgment. I'll give an example of some crazy stuff that happens if you go with the first thing that comes to mind. I was at a Halloween party at my cousin and his girlfriend's house. They do that kind of annual tradition. And it was kind of funny. My other cousin's, I think now ex-coworker and I literally had the same name pop out of our heads for a skeleton that I won as a costume party trophy. And it was just kind of strange because they just kind of came out at the same time. So it wasn't like she reading my mind, was I reading her mind, or we just pick up on information that was already out there. But it just, you know, again, it was because it came out all at once. It didn't, you know, we didn't stop and ponder on it. I didn't hold on to it. I didn't think about it for 3 more hours and then talk about it. So the cards thing can help you do that because there's a way for you to actually focus in on it. If you want to, I personally think it would be better if you maybe actually printed up the logos of the teams on like just regular paper and kind of cut them up. Okay, and do it fresh every time. Please don't make a deck of cards. Okay, and just actually cut up the paper and then see what you are drawn to. Don't shuffle them. You're not reading cards. You don't have that skill built into your chart. All right, you've got to read the physical. And that might be something that helps you out there. Okay, that might be a good way to start. After that, then we'll kind of figure out what's going on. Because the problem with phones and readings through phones is because the phone will stack intel and stack information. And that's a problem for a number of reasons. If I go on my phone and I'm going boop, 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 there are pages behind it. There are open apps on the frickin', you know, I've got apps going on in the background. You know, I could have PayPal and Chrome and Facebook and whatever's going on. So it's like, it's reading all of them at once. So I wouldn't bother with that, okay? Okay, as I said before, there's a chance I might see you in Seattle this December, but 2 bad things have come up which majorly go. Okay, next question, number 4. Okay, so as predicted, I've gone through 3 different managers at both your jobs. Shitty. As predicted, I would get moved into another department at Wells Fargo, and... Oh, you hate it. I'm sorry, I can only see what I see. I did not apply for the online department because I didn't want to get the executive position. That's where they transferred me. The last 3 months at Wells Fargo have sucked. I'm in a 5-year tenured banker. You are a 5-year tenured banker, and yet I feel like a new hire. My known customers are calling me stupid, and I don't blame them. Okay, so where should I go? Should I apply for the PMA department, or should I wait for the EO? Oh, executive office. Okay. PMA is hiring right now. So I still want out of my apartment. It's called Blended Banker, but we call it Banker in a Blender. Oh, also the sad news, if I get the PMA job, I can't come and see you in December because that's when the training is. Okay. Let's have a look and see what's going to happen here. Let's just break this down. Okay, show me please what is going to happen. Aaron Banks and Wells Fargo. Should he be focusing on getting the PMA position or the executive, I guess you could say, how is it phrased? Executive office, okay. Aaron Banks, executive office versus PMA. Aaron Banks, executive office versus PMA. What will happen? Where is he going to go with this? Show me the next 6 weeks. What's going to happen with Aaron Banks over the next 6 weeks? PMA or executive office? PMA or executive office? Okay, well, as far as this is concerned, the cards are kind of giving me a weird interpretation, and that could be because, again, I'm getting this to you kind of late, so maybe, you know, this could be talking a little bit more about your, where your trajectory is since you sent off the email, which I would feel really bad about, but I feel like we're kind of going in the executive office direction, because one of the things I'm seeing here is the Death card reversed and the Six of Cups upright. So we are going towards something that we've had an attempt at or an opportunity at with the past. You're bringing something back from the dead and you're going back to it with the Six of Cups upright. And over the course of the next 3 weeks, we've got the Emperor upright and the King of Pentacles, which basically puts you in as a bit of a shoe-in. I'm actually feeling like the training is beginning within the next 6 weeks, which falls in line with what you said. So you may not be able to come out here to Seattle, but the King of Pentacles and the Emperor is basically putting you as a shoe-in for the job. Now, as far as the environment is concerned, with the Six of Pentacles reversed, the King of Cups, and the Fool, I feel like the PMA job may not necessarily be available to you right now anyway, or you may not necessarily get a chance to complete the application process because you go in another direction. The Fool and the King of Cups says if you wish to do PMA, there will be another opportunity in March. But I think that we're going to go towards executive office position. I think that that's what's on the table here. I don't know what PMA stands for, so I mean I can't go any further than that. But I feel like this is definitely, or maybe wait, maybe you can come see me because it does look like the executive office position is what's there. The Six of Cups does indicate, though, this might be, again, whichever one of these you attempted in the past is basically going to be the one that you grab. That might be the most important clue that comes out. Okay? Let's move on to question number 5. All right, so number 5, breaking news. I'm being sued for the first time. Oh, Jesus. I'm being sued for the first time. It's about a debt I totally forgot about 3 years ago. I don't have any cash on me. Okay. What do I need to do about this trial? Is it too late for me to negotiate? I can't afford a lawyer. I want to represent myself. My brother is screaming at me. Don't say or do anything without a lawyer. Okay. This is just out of control. These people just want their money. I was thinking about setting up a pay plan for less than I owe. Do you think they will go for that, or is the judge going to throw the book at me? It also sucks because I was doing a good job paying off loans this year. Okay, I'm going to trial. My new hurt my credit score. Okay, let's just everybody just calm the fuck down. We do actually have a good time. This is a good time for you to consider negotiating with them personally, or again, I don't think you have to necessarily go to trial. There may be a deposition or something, but that's about it. Mars is in your 9th house. This is the area that talks about government and legal proceedings. A little situational, but helpful going in your case, believe me, because Mars always defends the one on defense. If you're on defense with Mars in your 9th house, it's very advantageous, okay? It's one of those times where it's kind of like, okay, I don't recommend appealing anything. I don't know when this is. Are we going to trial? I think that we probably don't have to go to trial. I don't think you need to have I don't see a trial even going on here, so that's always a good thing to see. I feel like with Mars forming a bit of a strange aspect presently to your Mercury and to your Sun, you know, this is something that you probably could actually negotiate into a payment plan form, but with Mars in that square, it does mean that you're going to have to still fork up a good portion of that money in good faith, okay? So if you owe them $4,000, they're probably going to ask for $2,000 up front and then take the rest on a payment plan. I'm sorry. So let's have a look and see. What's going to happen with Aaron Banks and his trial? Go on and show me what's happening with Aaron and his trial and his debtor or his lender is coming after him. Oh, holy hell. So what's going on with Aaron and the trial of Aaron Banks, and will he get out of it okay? What's going to happen with Aaron Banks? Trial. Aaron Banks, what's going on with your trial, babe? What's going on with your trial, babe? Okay. All right. I don't think you have to go to trial. I don't even think you have to go to like an arbitration. I would say that you don't need... I think it's not too late to negotiate at all. The King of Cups reversed and the Fool card are upright are basically indicating that the biggest issue that's going on is just that they don't believe that you exist. I think they want to get the judgment and then just kind of pursue after that. We don't have to go down that road. The Moon card upright and the Page of Pentacles are basically indicating, again, we probably will be able to negotiate this. I think that with the Moon, there's something happening here that you can explore. But the King of Pentacles reversed and the Devil is basically indicating the only thing that you could possibly even negotiate may have to do with interest and penalties. I think that the actual sum that you owe is going to be completely what it is. Now, if you are, I'm not saying you're not going to be paying interest and penalties. You sure as hell will be, but I think that we may be able to get some penalties waived or dismissed, as it were. The Page of Pentacles upright says they would be happy to go up on a payment plan, and you probably would end up setting a date. This could be something that's notarized, something that's under observation by their attorney, something that actually is like a new contract. You agree to pay X amount of dollars by what looks like about the beginning of February, and agree henceforth to go forward. And I think that that's the deal you should be aiming towards. Please don't push towards trial, suing, or anything like that. Okay? I don't see you, again, I don't see the cost, dropping astronomically, unfortunately, but the Empress upright and the Five of Swords reversed says with this plan, you could be done with these people by Memorial Day weekend. So I don't think that it's basically just how do we get this back on track. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to negotiate a time of no payment followed by a time of a lot of payment, and that's going to get you up to date. Okay? But I don't want you to go out of your way to try and, don't drag this out. Please don't try to tie this up in litigation. All right, so question number 6. Okay. Will 2019 be just off 2018? I'll pay for another session if you need to. Also, a thing, you want to hear something spooky. Found out I was born during a Mercury retrograde. What does that mean? Okay. I feel like this would be another session for another day. Or we could even talk on Facebook sometime. I don't mean to, cut you off. I hope this information is helpful to you. I just noticed that we're over 35 minutes and I have a shit ton of stuff to do. I know we always go a little bit over, and I definitely told myself, like, he's going to get at least a half an hour, just because of the delay and all, but I want to make sure I get this to you right now, babe, okay? As far as 2019 is concerned, it is going to be far easier, I think, for everybody. I think that maybe the fantastic or the awesome was just a facetious remark on your part. We have no Mars retrograde. We have no Venus retrograde next year. Everything seems to be a lot calmer and clearer. Though I will say the vast majority of next year is going to be focusing on your love life. And if you're ready to actually settle down. Just a bit of a teaser. Okay? But yeah, maybe we'll get that in another session. But let me just get this off to you real quick here. And again, I apologize for the delay. I hope you enjoy the 200% extra time on here. And you take care. Okay? I'll see you later. Thanks for writing in.